I know we had a separate conversation around, hey, what are the how do you get PLS or product-led sales to actually work? And you started mentioning a couple mistakes there. So what do B2B SaaS companies often get wrong about building a product-led sales motion?
What do they get wrong? So I don't want to sort of focus on what they get wrong, because it's sort of like, I think it's new enough that I think it's more about like people are still trying to figure it out. So I want to sort of like, where are sort of the stumbling blocks? I think stumbling block one is that one is just not making it sort of a proper company priority in that alignment. The alignment between marketing and sales and product, right? Because when you think about it, is the product is generating leads for sales, right? And so that understanding between them is a core thing. So you have to really sort of, one, make sure there's alignment between these three groups. And you can't do product-led sales in a vacuum. Thing two is, I think the traditional tooling is not set up to run a proper product-led sales motion, right? So much of what we're talking about is getting insight into the customer. And so how do you power reps with the right data, the right signals, the right alerts, everything that's centered around the customer and their journey? You talk to a lot of companies who are like, oh, you can some jump into Mixpanel. That's a little bit complicated. It's great maybe for product and engineering teams. It's not right for a sales team. Some say, oh, we have, jump into Tableau. Well, it's a little complicated, maybe a little slow. And then I'm jumping around to, maybe I can push the data into the CRM. Like, yeah, you can, but it's not really meant for product data, time series data. It doesn't really get you that view. So it's really to run that motion. So fundamentally, I believe you need one place to have that visibility across the journey, something that can process the data, handles the data natively, and then gives reps an easy to use interface to understand what's going on, get alerted about it, and take action on it all in one place so that they're not jumping around, 6 or 7 different tools. So those are like two key things to me.
You even mentioned ops. So it sounds like it's product, marketing, sales, and you kind of need ops wrapped around all that to tie it all together.
Oh, for sure. I mean, ops is at the core of this, ops and data. Like every organization is slightly different. And so didn't mean to single anyone out. I'm seeing, sometimes sales ops take, leading the charge here. So I actually recently spoke to a marketing ops person who's like, hey, we're responsible for driving leads to sales. We've traditionally been doing this other way. I really want to get more scientific. I want to run a product-led sales motion with the sales team. And these are better leads, right? Sometimes it's the data team internally. So we're finding like, it's interesting, like each company is like slightly different. I think it's because there's a sort of a lack of maturity in what sort of product-led growth and product-led sales mean, that like the stakeholder varies at each company. And it's basically like, what are the strengths and weaknesses of each company and who's sort of leading the charge? I think, 5 years from now, will you have VPs of product-led growth? Quite possibly, right? Because it's a cross-cutting thing, somebody needs to take the charge. And without that, it can be pretty challenging, right? Like you got it. So
the challenge around alignment is an interesting one to me, because I've run into that before at different organizations I've been. And so you have product, you have sales, you have marketing, the ops rep for all of that. What does alignment look like to you? And like, if you think about the owner of the initiative, like who owns it? Is it marketing? Is it product? Is it a growth person? How do you think about that?
Well, the exciting thing that I'm seeing today is with the tooling we're providing and the ease with which we sort of like make the integration easy. Sales is taking the charge today, right? And sales is saying, hey, I own a number. I need to generate revenue from this. I want to be in control. And traditionally, that might not be the case. But I think with the right tooling, we put sales in control of their destiny, even if for something that's traditionally been challenging. I think longer term, does this evolve? Yes. But I think right now, so many people are like, because it's like, is it you? Is it me? You've seen that like Spider-Man meme where they're all sort of pointing at each other. What I'm seeing from sales leaders is like, I want to do this. I got this. This is the tooling for me. I can connect it to my warehouse. I can get empowered. I don't need to ask for favors anymore. I'm just going to start running my motion.
Wow. Yeah.
Because other people have other priorities. And if it's not sort of a proper company priority, like marketing saying, well, I'm generating traffic to the website and people signing up, like, but this is, so I think it's been exciting to see that with the right empowerment, sales taking control of their destiny.
Yeah. There's a little bit of irony in that, right? Because it's product-led sales, and like I imagine a scenario might be sales is saying to product, hey, we need this data to help qualify who we should be talking to. And product's like, we don't have the bandwidth. We have a roadmap to build. Marketing has their demand gen numbers to hit. They don't have time to implement a new product. And so sales is like, you know what? I don't need to deal with your systems. Let us just, and we'll get into this, but however Calixa works, like we'll just pull all that data into Calixa, and then that'll just help us qualify.
Yeah, and I don't blame anyone. This is sort of an organizational problem, right? Everyone has their own priorities.
Yeah, it's new.
So if they're not set properly at the top, it's going to run like this. And that's fine, because we're building a tool such that we're even seeing like some engineering leaders being like, this is awesome. Let's give sales what they need. And then they can go run, right? And I don't have to worry about further requests. Everyone is busy at every success, even probably unsuccessful companies, but at every successful company, everyone is busy. So how do we without that proper empowerment, which I think is going to take time, or that proper alignment, which I think is going to take time as the market matures, you're going to need ways for somebody to say, like, I need to go do it myself. And it's my top priority, even if it's not yours. Is there tooling that can help me?
Yeah. And so maybe we can get into the specifics, and you don't have to give away any of your secrets, but, and I'll give a little bit more color to this, but the question is, how does Calixa work? I started thinking about it as like reverse ETL, but I think I read that that's the wrong way to think about it, or maybe it's like nuanced, but yeah, explain to the listeners, how does Calixa work and how does it help?
So the thing with Calixa is you get the data into Calixa, and we want all your data possible. So it's not trying to do away with reverse ETL. Reverse ETL is awesome and great. We actually work with the reverse ETL players like Census and iTouch. So it's a great way to get data into us. But what our magic is pulling the data in and then connecting it, right? The hardest thing that people have is connecting it and making sense of it.
So does Calixa deal with the unique user IDs and like assigning that and mapping? Wow. Okay.
And even better. So like you have your product event feed, like we'll auto generate metrics from that feed. So you don't have to think like, are those metrics in your warehouse? Oh no. Okay. That's fine. As the events come in, we're auto generating metrics for your support tickets, for any of your amplitude mix panel segment feeds. We'll auto generate metrics on top of that, as well as you can just push your own metrics into us. We'll take it all. And the magic that we have is how do we then surface it in an easy to use interface where this is the case where like ops loves it because they can easily expose different parts of the data. Any of the properties on the account. Hey, this is a property on the user. Oh, actually, there's a Salesforce field that's really, oh, great, no worries. They're all connected. So just expose that. And so the ability to like easily connect data, expose data, and then put into an easy to use interface is sort of like a core thing. And then like doing magical things with the data is like the part two. It's like magic number one would be sort of the ability to automate on it. And so, constantly processing your data in real time and say, hey, maybe you want to send usage alerts to reps based on ownership. So like when one of their accounts hits a certain usage threshold, route it to the rep. Well, we have all that data to connect it to know, to see the spike, to know who owns it, and then being able to send it to them via Slack or any other means, right? Other thing is like, which we just released, pretty exciting, AI prospecting. Basically, we have all your product data. We have all these attributes. You tell us who our good accounts are, and then we can build machine learning models to like deliver insights against that. And so that's another thing that I think is super interesting about what we do, because we have all the data. We can really help you understand what patterns are important for the accounts you should be talking to.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit earlier, but what I'm seeing as someone who's familiar with the space is there's a lot of folks popping up and trying to solve the same challenge that you're trying to solve. And I think each person or each company seems to be trying to do it differently. So how do you think about differentiation and like maybe the unique space that Calixa fits in. And it sounds like AI prospecting is one of those things.
Yeah, I think about what we're building, and it's like these three key pillars. It's execution, automation, and measurement. So execution is like the sales execution. It's sort of like who should I be talking to, and then like actually doing something about it. So we have the ability for you to prioritize and take action, run playbooks all on our tool. Automation is like once you get comfort and understanding with doing things in a manual way, there are many things that you'll want to do in sort of like in a more automated way, right? Sort of like, hey, let's auto create an opportunity for anyone with a high PQL score, and then we can track it. And like, you may want to do that. You save reps clicks. That's great, right? And so we believe that because we're at the center of all this data, how do we help you sort of orchestrate across everything? And then measurement is key. Like you're doing all this stuff. Is it good or bad? So we don't want you just to be doing stuff. And so that whole platform, if you don't have that execution, automation, and measurement as your three key pillars, people are going to have to fill in different parts of the stack with different tools. What people are really asking for is a true platform for product-led sales where they can do all three things.
Yeah, got it. That's a helpful framework, not just to think about your product, but for folks just building companies in general or building out organizations.
Yeah, and to the part, I think one part about that, what people find challenging, they're actually across that range of those three pillars is just basically like there's just so much data. How do I make sense of it? Who should I be talking to? Who's good? Who's not good? What are the signals? And that's why we've said like, hey, yeah, there is too much data. This is why we need to leverage machines. And so like machine learning is sort of a core cuts across the platform because it influences all those three three pillars. And the goal is you tell us what good accounts look like. You just which accounts they are. You can say, hey, any account on this billing plan, go find accounts like that. And we say, hey, we're going to predict which accounts are going to grow up to be like that. And we can actually build multiple models for different things. Some people care about free to pay. Some people got paid to growth. Or like we can build multiple models in parallel because that's sort of how sophisticated our system is.